After receiving excellent news about my passport, a shift takes place in my daily life and my state of mind. My first real evening spent with locals is meant to reconcile me with Vietnam. Enjoy the episode.
Keep your wings, le podcast.
Chapter 5. The Dawn of a New Day. Back from my excursion and armed with good news, I decided to head to Bến Tre, south of Ho Chi Minh City. My goal was to avoid staying in big city at all costs and experience another side of Vietnam. As soon as I arrived, I wandered through the streets and couldn't help but notice the stunned reaction of the local. Bewildered faces follow my every move, eyes wide, smiles blooming at every corner, arms waving excitedly to greet me. Damn, it felt good not to see people calling at every intersection. I decided to work out a little in a local park and was rewarded with applause and encouragement from the locals, genuine sweethearts trying to support me as I struggled to complete a set of 20 push-ups. After the effort came comfort. I headed to a tiny food shack. No hesitation here, Vietnamese cuisine is undoubtedly one of the most refined, delicious, not too greasy, packed with flavor, a real explosion of tastes in every bite. As a fan of Asian food, I was in full gustatory bliss. Just as I left the restaurant, a toothless man on a scooter pulled up in front of me. He smiled and asked me where I was from. I answered cautiously. When he told me he was a private guide offering a tour to the Cu Chi tunnels, I smiled and replied I wasn't interested.
Wait, look at this.
He handed me a notebook, eerily similar to Mac's. I flipped through the pages and saw the same type of comments singing his praises and describing how amazing his tour was. I've already been scammed, I replied. But thanks anyway and good luck finding your next pigeon.
It's not a scam. It's a real private tour.
He insisted, looking genuinely taken aback. I handed back the notebook, offered a final smile, and left him in the middle of the street. Once bitten, not twice. After that promising afternoon, I wandered around Ho Chi Minh's outskirts near the bus station. It was 6:30 p.m. and I had time to kill. My bus to Dalat wasn't leaving until 11:40 p.m. An 8-hour sleeper ride sounded perfect for saving time and getting some rest. I went to a small restaurant to grab a meal and a beer. 20 minutes later, my meal was gone, my glass empty. I was about to leave when...
"Hey, you, come here,"
shouted a man at the nearby table. I walked over with my 2 backpacks. He asked if I wanted to join them for a beer. I gladly accepted and a waitress brought over a tiny stool for me.
"Where are you from?"
Lou asked. "Belgium. I'm traveling alone in Vietnam. Just a few days in."
"Excellent. Let's celebrate that here. Have a beer."
Lou poured some Saigon beer into a tiny glass and then, sacrilege, plopped in a huge ice cube with a pair of tongs. A Belgian's nightmare. Ice in beer. But that was just the first of many watered-down beers. Vietnamese people are generally heavy drinkers and always had ice to make the beer last longer and the night with it. Lou was the only one in the group who spoke decent English.
"Of course. I teach English."
He laughed.
"My friends don't take me seriously. They think I'm making up words."
His friends were hysterical. True. His Vietnamese accent was tricky at times, but he had nothing to be ashamed of. I learned a few Vietnamese words following their tips. My accent was hideous and I had everything laughing, but the vibe was light and fun. The night rolled on and I was already on my 5th beer, barely tasting it because we were downing them non-stop to the rhythm of Mo Tai Ba Yo, which means 1, 2, 3 cheers. Everything was a reason to raise a glass, a joke, a story, a song, a pretty girl passing by. Beers vanished within seconds. By 8:30 p.m. the night was still young. Lou and his buddies decided to take me to a pool bar nearby. The moment I walked in, the whole place erupted. Surprise and curiosity filled the room. I was the only white guy there. I bought a bucket of beers to thank Lou and the crew. I played a few rounds, but the booze started eating hard. My shots were a mess. I had way more than I should have, but these watered-down beers were so deceptively mild. After the 12th one, euphoria set in. It was 10:30 p.m., the bar nearly empty. Time to head to the bus station, I thought. I thanked my new drinking buddies and hit the road. Slightly tipsy, lugging 15 kilos on my back and another 10 on my chest, just like a baby koala. I struggled to walk straight. I made it to a small alley by 10:50 p.m., just 10 minutes by walk from the station.
"Come. Hey.
Shouted several voices from a half-closed street food stall. 3 guys were doing their after-hours hangout, probably the owner and his friends, and they were waving me over. I approached and saw their eyes light up with curiosity. They brought me a chair, sat me down, opened a beer, yes, with ice, and placed the dish in front of me with chopstick. Spicy chicken, fried fish, rice, tea. I felt like I just had won some grand prize. They didn't speak a word of English, but they kept urging me to eat and drink. I raised my glass, looked them in the eyes and shout, "Motaiba yo!" They burst out laughing, giving me the high fives and shouting, "Bro, bro, bro!" I pulled out my phone and used Google Translate. We chatted, ate, drank, and laughed. Between two fits of laughter, I glanced at my phone. 11:30 p.m. I groaned, finishing my 17 beer. Too late to walk to the station. One of them saw the ticket open on my screen, nodded and pointed to his scooter. I nodded back, thanking him repeatedly with gammon, 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 which means thank you. He dropped me off at the station just in time, 10:39 p.m. He pointed to one of my bracelets, and I gave him to him as a keepsake.
Bye, bro.
He shouted, giving me a cheesy R&B-style fist bump. I smiled, running on a beer-fueled adrenaline rush. I made it on the bus and collapsed into my sleeper seat. What a fucking night. And what a radically different view of Vietnam. That evening marked the true beginning of a new adventure.